If Pokimane has reason to believe that sharing this person's name would force victims to be publicly known that don't want to be, then obviously she's making the correct call, because the focus needs to and should be on the victims in these situations. They are the people we should be listening to, and the people we should be protecting, and the people whose justice we should be seeking. Hello, Halfpint here, and I just wanted to say real quick, if you've been enjoying my content, please remember to subscribe to the channel here on YouTube and follow me on Twitch so you can always catch us when we're live and see more content. Also, if you are new here, welcome in, and if you're enjoying the video, please remember to like it because it helps me out a lot. I also post funny clips and other things on TikTok. All the links are in the description below, and thanks again. Now let's get into the video.
This is a creepy and weird story. So Pokimane, who's a massive streamer online, she exposed and highlighted this very odd situation, explaining that apparently someone in the industry pretended to be in a relationship with her to gain access to and manipulate other women in the streaming community.
To my face, this person was always very professional and kind. He is well networked in the industry. He knows many streamers. He has helped us with...
And what made it sound like he might have worked for or works for Twitch is she's talked about how this person has worked with many streamers and has many streamer contacts. I don't know if that part's going to come up, but that was the part that kind of had people thinking like, okay, well, who is someone, like, what is a position that would have someone working with multiple streamers or content creators? Likely someone at Twitch, some sort of agent or representative for the creators between Twitch as an entity and the creators. At least that's what it appears. And this person also seems to have intimate time and a lot of time to interact with streamers' chats, which suggests that it's probably not a super higher up in Twitch if it's someone in Twitch. And I guess there is somewhat of a history of mid to lower level employees at Twitch on occasion abusing power and being weird people. So that's these are some of the reasons why a lot of people are thinking this is a Twitch employee.
Many things. This was someone that we were genuinely grateful for their help.
That is, until a few months ago when a few girls in her community presented some concerns and asked to speak to Pokimane's manager, then sending screenshots and pieces of interactions they had with this man, with Poki adding.
So basically, he would reach out to girls that he knew were like in my chat or viewers of mine. He would approach them, and because of his connections with streamers and the company he worked at, he seemed like a very trustworthy individual. He would then tell the girls that he's...
So like that right there kind of hints at the idea that this person works for a content creating company, and because we're talking about Pokimane, it's just likely Twitch.
Suicidal and deals with mental health issues, which of course would garner him a lot of sympathy. He claimed that his relationship with me made him suicidal, and he used this to make the girls feel like they couldn't turn their backs on him and to think that like I was an evil person. Yeah,
this guy, whoever this is, just sounds like a really gross person who is like, I mean, obviously they're willing to, not even willing, they are incapable of not manipulating people. Like the entire situation is manipulated from the get-go. Lying about the relationship this person has with Pokimane to people in her chat is obviously super fucking weird and also a form of manipulation. But then this person takes it a step further, and now they're saying that, you know, like they're in emotional turmoil and possibly going to harm themselves because of the relationship with Pokimane, and somehow this is supposed to manipulate these various people in her chat into wanting to date him or talk to him or interact with him or something. I'm not really sure what the plan there is, because you're already like saying you're not only with someone, but you're with someone this person cares about and looks up to. So like no Pokimane chatter is probably going to want to be the person that like Pokimane's partner cheats on her with. So if they believe that story at all, that you are with Pokimane, then I don't know how you expect that to transfer into any sort of meaningful relationship with them in a romantic sense. But then again, the whole interaction is based off lies that are, you know, just extensions of more lies. So it was never going to be a meaningful interaction anyway. And that's not, it doesn't seem like that's something this person's capable of understanding.
With Poki then saying that after he felt like he had gained these girls' trust, he would share Photoshop Discord messages that made it seem like he was speaking to Poki, also making up stories about her.
He acted like he knew and hung out with me and my friends in person. This is someone
That's so weird though. Like just thinking about that logistically, like I don't message people to tell them about people I hang out with. That's such a weird concept. I feel like that's already such a red flag. Like, why would I ever talk about, unless it's specifically relevant to the conversation, like, do you know so-and-so? Oh, yes, I know so-and-so. I've hung out with so-and-so, or I've gamed with so-and-so. What is the actual reasoning behind just, like, messaging someone and just being like, hey, just heads up, I'm really good friends with this person, and we date, but I hate my life about it. So, want to talk? What? I really don't understand the idea at all.
I've never met.
And the scope of this is wild because this potentially could have been going on for 2 entire years where she worked adjacent to him.
He would use like inappropriate photos, like nudes that weren't of me, and he would send them to the girls and say that it was me.
She also claimed he would share real confidential.
Okay, well then why is he doing that? Why is he doing that? Is so... What? Okay. All right, so thinking about it for just a second longer, my only thought is like, is that his way of trying to prove that he's actually in a relationship with her? Like, oh, look at these intimate photos I've acquired through my relationship with Pokimane. Because gross. You should be showing those to anyone. Absolutely inappropriate, especially like unprecedented or unprompted to people in Discord. That's like disgusting. And sharing them in any way, real or especially because they're not real, extra disgusting. But even if they were real, and especially a different kind of especially really if they were real, particularly disgusting. Because obviously she wouldn't have consented to the sharing of those photos, just like she didn't consent to the existence of these fake photos. And if it's not to try and prove you're in a relationship with Pokimane, if you're just sending it just to be like, ah, look what I got, like that's like so creepy. Like, how is that not sexual harassment at the very least?
Confidential information about Poki with them, like how much she made from brand deals, and saying it was kind of this combination of plain lies and real behind the scenes information.
Afterwards, he would then try to develop romantic and sexual relationships.
Doesn't make any sense to me.
After gaining their trust.
With this leading to where you probably think it's going to lead, even asking them for explicit photos. But Pokimane saying that the good news is that she was able to prompt an investigation at the company that he worked at, and he's since been let go. Though also adding he has essentially disappeared since then. And at this point, you might have noticed we have not said his name, and that's not because I was like, time to protect a scumbag. I personally think the predators need to be outed, but Poki said that she chose not to reveal the name in order to protect the privacy of the victims.
One of the reasons that I wanted to talk about it.
Yeah, and like, I've heard a lot of people criticize Pokimane for not giving this person's name, because everyone wants them to be exposed and kind of wants to hunt them down. And I get that for sure, but I am also, we don't know who this person is or where they worked, and if Pokimane has reason to believe that sharing this person's name would force victims to be publicly known that don't want to be, then obviously she's making the correct call, because the focus needs to and should be on the victims in these situations. They are the people we should be listening to, and the people we should be protecting, and the people whose justice we should be seeking. So if that's the way it seems the victims want to approach things, then yeah, we should approach things that way. I'm sure if there's any legal investigations that need to be done, that they are being done now. I'm also sure that the reason this person was fired and let go after this investigation was made clear in the termination, meaning anytime they try and seek positions in the future, it will be seen on their professional record that they were let go for these reasons. So that in and of itself should prevent the person from getting a position of power or similar power in the future. At least this is the hope. This is the understanding I'm going in with, that, you know, that's how the system's supposed to work. Obviously, there have been some instances where we've seen people just laterally move or move around, and they are able to do these things again, but this person has seemingly completely disappeared. I don't know. It's just one of those things to me where obviously the ideal way would be for everyone to know the person's name, but if the victims don't want to go that public with the information, then we should all be respecting that. They are the people who we are fighting for, you know?
It was in hopes that it could help me and the girls that he manipulated, like, move on from this. Just anger that someone would use my name, my reputation, my trust, and the trust that these girls had in me, to then manipulate them for his own benefit.
You know, in response to this, you had tons of people thinking this is absolutely sickening. It's absolutely disgusting.
No,
But
yeah.
also, we did see tons of people wishing she had said the guy's name. With the main general argument being that by exposing this person, that's the only way to actually prevent it from happening again in the future. With that not being an opinion just from, you know, like fans or passerbys, but also other large people in the community like Moist Critical.
If this is a powerful, prominent figure in the industry, I feel like it would have been a great service to actually name and shame them, so that way people know to avoid them in the future.
But notably, Charlie also...
I understand that perspective, but I think that's a common misconception with things like this. It's a misconception I even had for a long time, where like anytime something happens inappropriate like this, there needs to be an immense push to like go to the police, go to the police, go to the police, charge, or in this instance, name them publicly, name them publicly, name them publicly. But that's just, it's just such a more complicated situation than that. Not every person is going to want to do that, to rehash the thing they've just gone through, the trauma, or, you know, pour into this sort of thing publicly and drag it out longer. Not everyone is going to want to, you know, deal with the possibility of not being listened to, which we know happens so often, in both instances, privately and publicly like this. So, like, I understand the pressure to do that because you want people to pay and you want the behavior to stop. But, I've come to understand the focus in situations like this should be on nothing other than the victim. And what they think they want and what they think they need, at least in those moments. And if they're saying and voicing clearly, I do not want to go to the police, or I do not want to name this person publicly, then everyone should shut the fuck up about trying to get that person to do that. It's it's their thing, okay? And like, if the best thing for them mentally and emotionally is to just like try and move on, and I don't know. If the best thing for them is not to do that, then they shouldn't be forced to do that or expected to do that. Yes, in an ideal world, that would happen every time. But in an ideal world, none of this would ever happen at all. So because it does happen, we need to do the best we can to support the victims and help them, you know, maintain or reclaim a sense of normality after situations like this and a sense of safety. So like that's just kind of where I've come with situations like this. It's just like, take their lead, you know? And if she's saying that I don't feel it's safe for the victims for me to name this person, then like, I trust her. She knows infinitely more about this situation than I do. And so if that's what she's saying, then she probably has very good reason to think that. And either way, she's respecting the wishes of some other victims. So like, that, I believe that's the right thing to do. So I don't really understand why people are like mad at her. The fact that some of this conversation is even being redirected to like, how could Pokimane not give this name is so lame. And like, once again, it's just the focus should be on the victims and supporting them and seeking their justice, not criticizing them for how they come out with a story, because they are the victim. They're not even the perpetrator. There's a bigger, darker situation to talk about here. There is a bad person, a bad actor, and you are busy focusing on this whistleblower because you're not happy with the particular way they blew the whistle. Like, are you kidding me? Just be glad they grabbed the whistle.
So giving her the benefit of the doubt on why she chose not to disclose it.
Maybe this is the right way of playing it to keep it clean and safe for everyone.
Yes.
I don't know.
It's a sticky situation.
Okay, but like, then why did you spend so much time criticizing her? Then, you know, like, that's such a half-assed, like, maybe that is the right way. I don't know. She kind of is trying to let people know that, I believe. That's what it seems like.
So it's one that I want to pass the question off to you with. What are your
But
thoughts
whatever.
on this story in general? But
That's
also,
not to say like anyone should be mad at Moist Critical either. I wasn't really criticizing him necessarily, just the opinion or that viewpoint. Because obviously being mad at Moist Critical or anyone else for you know, demanding that the person be named also pulls away from the real problem, which is the person and in the concept in general of people in positions of power abusing things. We don't want to get lost in the conversation about the aftermath. We want to support the victims and seek their justice. Focus on that person, or in this case, the process and like the fact that this can happen. And what can we do to create a safer environment where representatives or people working with streamers aren't able to leverage information through their job to abuse the trust of the streamer and people in their community and do crazy fucked up things like this?
Also, what are your thoughts on not or actually sharing the person's name? Because I really do see the validity of both arguments. I just don't know which supersedes the other. And then the Jack Daniels distillery is attacking.
In my mind, it's undoubtedly that supporting the victims should be the focus of everyone. That's just where I'm at. So that's that situation. I guess we'll see where it goes and what ends up happening. I don't know. Hopefully, we at least find out what company this happened at, so there can at least be. Well, I guess that could even expose some information. Well, either way, I just hope there's no way for us to like verify this, but I just really, really, really hope that wherever this happened, they are taking a close look at how things function and how this was able to happen and take steps to ensure that something like this is less likely to happen in the future. I have full confidence that Pokimane is probably working with whoever she can in terms of trying to right this wrong and create a better environment. That's kind of been her bag the whole time. So I do think the situation is in good hands. Unfortunate as it is that that it was forced into her hands because she was a victim, you know?
Its neighbors.
Yeah, I don't know. Fucked up things are fucked up. Thanks for watching, guys. Follow me on Twitch to join us live, like and subscribe, and I will catch you later.